Hi, I was at the cinema this week and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, sequel to 2019, I think's Into the Spider-Verse, and continuing that film's storyline. We follow Miles Morales, among many other characters, who is the Spider-Man of his dimension, saving people and righting wrongs, but gets involved with various spider characters from other dimensions, other iterations of the character, most prominently Gwen Stacy, and is brought by her to the Spider Society, led by Miguel O'Hara, who has combined the efforts of Spider Man's across the interdimensional expanse. But he has plans for Miles, and Gwen does in turn as well, and the film is tremendously complex. um, I loved it. It's, I think, setting a new benchmark for what can be done with animation. The level of complexity, the level of um, variety in terms of style and presentation, how every dimension feels completely different. You see numerous dimensions. Every iteration of Spider Man has their own visual style, their own visual design. It doesn't feel bland and generic. It is complex and detailed and an incredible achievement that builds on the brilliance of the first film to create something truly unique. It is verging on masterpiece were it not for the fact I believe all three directors are first time filmmakers, first time directors anyway, long careers in animation and and writing, but not necessarily in directing, and it's really astonishing. It's co-written by Lord and Miller, who worked on the Lego movie, and there is a little homage to that here with a Lego version of Spider-Man briefly. And the music by Daniel Pemberton feels like a hybrid of the Lego movie and Tron Legacy, one of my favourite scores. And it's the best music score I've heard in several years. Um, it's it's a tremendously interesting concept because it explores Spider-Man in a way that hasn't really been done before. In a world where everyone is Spider-Man, what makes you stand out? Um, and there are twists that change Miles' self-perception and put him into new environments that I don't want to spoil. But the film is ultimately about defining oneself, defining one's own story, separate from that which is defined in advance for you. And I think that's a very empowering and very contemporary idea for a superhero story, particularly when there are so many that are adaptations of existing storylines. Creating one that is completely fresh and totally original, like this, I think uh, it needs that room to spread and to establish itself as this is something fresh, this is something that we're doing that's totally new and original. Um, it's a great film. It's, I think, one of the favourite films I've seen so far this year. I enjoyed it enormously. Um, Towards the end, it did feel like it was adding on too much. It felt like the film had come to a natural climax, but there was still half an hour to go, and it was adding on more and more material and really setting itself up for the third installment, Beyond the Spider Verse, which is released in March next year. Um, how that will turn out, I have no idea. I have no doubt that they will think of some way of topping this. But I really enjoyed this, and I recommend it very